Now we're going to show you how to actually go about dividing up your shadows and spaces within the picture. And we already have the initial image drawn on marker board right here. But what we want to do is separate out the highlights and the dark areas. So by separating those, it'll make it a lot easier for us to actually do the textures and the coloring later on. So Emily is going to help me once more by separating the shadows on the barn itself. She's doing a very simple shadow. She's indicating where the actual shadow comes down into the building. You can actually see that on the actual building itself, the deep shadow on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is completely dark. So she's doing just a very generalized shadow here. Since this is just rough drawing and we are outside, it makes it simpler just to kind of indicate where those things are. Okay, the next thing she's going to do is to separate the shadows in the background from the highlights. So there is a distinct shadow on the left-hand side that is not on the right-hand side. So she's going to indicate that. Okay, that separates out the shadows on the left from the shadows on the right. You can see that this even comes down and around the barn itself. The last two things that we're going to do is show the shadows in the foreground and along where our path lies. So the shadows would be through here, a small line of it, and shadows that we would see in this area here to separate that foreground. So again, we have just taken a very simple image here and made it even more simple within our picture.